As always, we bring you great, impactful, life changing, business changing information content. And this week is no different. In fact, this week might be one of the best weeks ever because we have the one of a kind Dr. Amanda Barrientez, I got that right, known as a mindset healer. How many of us really need to heal our mindset? I would say all of us actually do because so many of us live in the subconscious and we make decisions based upon our past experiences and our baggage. She is the founder and Inner Power Daily, an international best-selling author and the host of the top 2% globally rated podcast called Inner Power Entrepreneur. I love it. After going from food stamps, y'all. So if you're listening and you know somebody on food stamps, make sure you share this episode with them. It's really it could be life changing. So after going from food stamps to building a six-figure business fast, y'all, fast, not slow. Entrepreneurs like to do things fast. She's been on a quest to teach entrepreneurs and business professionals science based strategies to reprogram their energy, mindset, and habits. It's all about habits so they can get what they want in life and, of course, business. Dr. Amanda's superpower is helping you get unstuck. How many of you feel stuck? I'm an entrepreneur all my life and I do get stuck from time to time and get aligned and get what you want by tapping into your inner power. Dr. Amanda, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you.
Woohoo. Thank you, Michelle. I need you to travel around with me and give that intro everywhere I go.
Wonderful. So you have to start by telling us what were you like as a little girl? What were some of your background experiences? Not so much, but just share some insights so our listeners get to know you a little bit personally.
Yeah, I love that question. What were you like as a little girl? My brother used to call me Smiles too much. And it's funny because I actually felt like I didn't have a very playful childhood, but I was pretty. I was in my imagination a lot, I would say. And I was always doing cheers. I was very athletic and always very driven. It was like top of my class, top of my whatever I did in athletics. Like I was always very, very driven and also had this rebel side that
Yeah.
was very wild. And so, I kind of had this dual personality going on that I still think I have in this version of myself because I love to mix the fun playfulness of building a business and spirituality of building a business and then make it practical so people can actually transform and get what they want in their life and business. So it's like I bring all these different flavors and variations of myself into how I teach and coach and write and play in my business building endeavors.
Wonderful. So, how did you end up on food stamps to becoming Dr. Amanda and growing your own six-figure business or businesses and teaching everyone how to do that?
My entrepreneurial journey, I think most people can go back and pinpoint a moment when they decided it's time to change.
Mm.
And they don't always know where it will lead them. So for me, it started, I had left my 15-year marriage having an affair, and my next relationship wasn't working out. So here I am on the basement floor looking at an empty basement where my boyfriend had moved out, and I'm crying and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm already on food stamps because I had 3 kids. I was in grad school earning my PhD. And I lived in a really expensive place, and I'm looking at houses on Craigslist and I can't find anything I can afford. And I'm sitting there on the floor crying, going, oh my God, I'm going to be homeless with my 3 kids. I'm already working an extra job. I'm already in grad school full time, just busy and stressed. And I remember I was laying there kind of thinking, I'm scanning my life course and thinking about who I can blame for why I'm in this position. I was feeling super victim minded and really scared. And I had this revelation that as I was scanning my life course, I'm like, well, wait, every version of my life, I've been the center of it. So it's actually me that needs to change. And that was such an incredible moment because I sat up and I thought, I am willing to do whatever it takes to have better relationships and make more money. And I had no idea where that was going to lead me, but it led me to listening to podcasts because they were free and I could learn on the go. And so what I would do is just like listen to every podcast I could on relationships, confidence, money, business. And I started to learn and change. And what happened was really cool. It was like, oh, all these podcasts are done by coach type people. And I really, really, really loved teaching in university. But at the same time, my university where I was at had this national news fallout where professors were leaving the department. And I was thinking, I have no desire to be a professor anymore. This looks really stressful and not fun. And so I thought, screw it. I'm going to take the leap when I get my PhD and I'm going to build my own coaching business because I love teaching and working with people. And so that first year after I graduated, I built my business to 6 figures, and it's been a wild, fun roller coaster ride.
Support yourself when you were getting that degree.
Well, because I was already on food stamps and living in subsidized housing, I didn't need a lot of money. And so first month, I had enough clients to cover my expenses. And so it was like, I just hustled. I knew that I needed to know marketing. So the first thing I did right when I graduated, my present to myself was to go, like I had everybody who gave me money for graduation, I spent it on a marketing course. And I went and took this marketing course. And then right away, I started networking. And so it just led to this snowball of people coming my way. And I think a trick for most people to know, especially at the startup phase, is I didn't spend a lot of money on developing a whole bunch of systems, or I didn't have a website. I didn't even have cards. I just knew I need to talk to people and start putting myself out there and having really powerful conversations. And that would lead to coaching clients.
Okay. So there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah. Yes.
So number one is you were just laying there going, I'm the center of everything. Everything starts and ends with me. What can I do to change my life and my children's life, right?
Yep.
That's what so many people do is they get stuck in the mindset, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Instead of asking, why is this happening for me? And I think that's crucial what you said because I have friends, I have people who've worked for me who no longer work for me, and they just get stuck in their past and they get stuck in, well, this happened to me, Michelle, and you know what? This is the worst, and this will never happen to anybody else. I got news for y'all. Whatever you think you're going through, somebody else has it worse than you. And so to have that strength to pull you out of that, because you said it was a 15 marriage and there was a affair on his end, right?
No, my end.
Oh, your end. Ooh,
Yeah.
let's get juicy. No, I'm kidding.
we can. Hey, I am an open book. Something that's been so valuable in sharing these stories with people is that they go like, oh, I can tell Amanda anything because she's been there, done it, and experienced like places that cause a lot of shame. Being on food stamps feels very shame filled. Having an affair is very shame filled, right? And so it's helping people
Living on subsidized rent is
Oh, yeah, especially when all of your friends are really wealthy. Like the people that I was surrounded by had a ton of money. They're going on trips over spring break to Europe while I'm at home feeding my kids beans and rice and figuring out ways to have a fun, park picnic adventure because I don't have any money to do anything with them.
So was that affair kind of a self-sabotage thing? Was it worth? I don't want to say was it worth it, but was it self-sabotage?
Well, I always look retrospectively and think everything is always worth it because I don't think anything happens in your life that's not for your growth, depending on how you perceive it and how you respond to it. And so, it wasn't sabotage because I wouldn't say my life was going great. Usually we sabotage in moments of success, but it was my way of breaking free from a marriage that wasn't aligned. I got married at 20. I got pregnant and married at 20 and dropped out of school. And we had a lovely relationship in many ways and a misaligned relationship in many ways. And so, by the time I started going back to school to finish my degree, we had moved 35 times. I had always sacrificed so that he could follow his dreams. And so stay-at-home parenthood for me was miserable. I was suicidally depressed some of the time. It just was a horrible fit for my genius. Like I'm a go-getter. I love to be out in the world doing stuff. I love teaching, and staying at home and being a mom was really, really hard for me. I loved my kids, but I wasn't fulfilled. And so when I went back to school, I ended up meeting somebody and, the way that stuff plays out is really interesting. I look back and I go, I'm so grateful that it happened because it's taught me so much and it helped me break free from ways I was stuck being. And of course, I would never choose the same path now. And I'm much more skilled in relationships to stay. My ex-husband and I are great friends. We've repaired from it and we're great friends. And it's taught me and him so much.
So, folks, we don't recommend you doing that at home.
Yes. If you want to make a messy adventure, try having an affair. It will definitely shake things up. And, it was very shame inducing. It was really hard. It was a hard way to end a relationship.
1,000%. And not obviously not the best way to end it, but some good things did come out of it. Not that I suggest anyone does that, and I'm sure Dr. Amanda doesn't suggest that either. But you're so introspective, and you can look back at it now and say, "This really happened for me, not to me or to somebody else." And we're really all in a better place now. And I think that's what's so important because, like I said, there's so many people that focus on the past. I've always asked a question. We've all had challenging childhoods. I know, I have lots of people, clients, employees, etc. Why is somebody, you can put one person, you can take two people, give them a horrible, horrible childhood, and one will make it out and they will thrive. They will survive. They will thrive. They'll, give back to their community. They'll be a blessing to others, while the other one blames this, blames that, blames everyone around them. Blame, blame, blame. All they do is play the blame game. Why is that?
I love that you say this because I wrote down that you were talking earlier and I said, the blame game leads to being helpless. That's why, right? Blame. When you blame other people, you lose all of your power. And so, it's interesting. My PhD dissertation research was with incarcerated men who had been incarcerated on average for 18 years and were involved in gangs. And I got to do life history interviews with them. So I'd sit in a room with them for 4 hours and ask them questions about their history and ask them how and why they were ready to change or what was going on there. And the thing they said blew my mind because when you're talking about children who have trauma, like, wow, this is like movie level violence that you could never even imagine how bad it was that they experienced. And you're like, well, of course you turned into a violent offender and had a really hard life. And it was so cool to get to sit with them and have them have such an empowered mindset. And so I'd ask them, because they had to work really hard to get into this rehabilitation program. And I asked them, what caused you to be ready? And they said, you got to be ready. And it's a decision. It's a decision, right? It's just a decision. You just decide in a moment, just like I did when I was laying on the floor crying, I am ready to do whatever it takes to have better relationships and make more money. And that decision is so powerful because when you decide, you are literally cutting off anything else, any other options. So you're committing, which causes you to take automatic action. I didn't know what to do exactly. I just knew, okay, well, I'm going to start listening to podcasts and see where that goes, because at least I know that's information that can help me learn and grow. And so, everyone listening, I always like to tell people, you don't need to know step A to Z. You just need to know step A to B. That's it. And then once you take step A to B, C will appear, and then D will appear. I love this quote by Rumi. He says, as you take a step on the way appears. And so as you take a step on the way.
As you take a step on the way appears.
I love that quote.
I need my team to put that in the comments. As you say it one more time.
As you take a step on the way appears.
Okay, that's so profound.
Isn't it? Right. And I think that's important because most people get really stuck thinking too big and they think they've got to know A to Z or even like maybe A to Q, and then they don't take any action. And so don't get stuck there. Just make a decision about what you want and then take one step on the way and let the next step appear.
It's like when a student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Exactly. Yep. And that teacher appearing is your next step, right?
Yes, 1,000%. What is the name of your book? Remind us again.
So book is I Am a Money Magnet. Let's see, it's in the screen here. I'm a Money Magnet, the top 30 money-making mantras to manifest more. what's really cool about this book, and it's so integrated into my journey of going from food stamps to six figures, because I teach a principle to help with subconscious reprogramming. And really, it's a habits transformation tool, and it's a very simple process. I call it now my inner power formula. So it's step number 1, recognize. Step number 2, reframe. Step number 3, repeat to reprogram. So recognize, reframe, repeat to reprogram. If people could walk away just knowing that and follow it,
Say those
everything can
steps one
change.
more time. I make sure my team puts it in the notes.
Yep. So inner power formula is step number 1, recognize. Step number 2, reframe. And step number 3, repeat to reprogram. Now, here's the issue. Most people, let's just use business as an example. People will step into a business. So let's say that recognize piece, let's say they go, I'm tired of working for someone else. I want freedom of time. So I recognize I'm miserable. And the thing I'm going to do about it is become an entrepreneur. That's a reframe, right? You reframe from being an employee to an entrepreneur. Now, the problem is they get impatient and they don't keep repeating steps to be successful. The only way to get new outcomes is to repeat, to reprogram yourself, because our subconscious mind stores all of our beliefs, all of our feelings, all of our doubts, all of our limiting beliefs. And so most people, when they're stepping into entrepreneurship, even if they've been high power CEOs at another company, they all of a sudden get this imposter syndrome triggered because they don't know what they're doing and they're in this new territory and they give up too soon. And they get really frustrated because they feel like they don't know what they're doing. And so I like to teach subconscious reprogramming so that people can actually get different results.
And they also have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, I've had a few people say, "Well, no, you need to do it in your comfort zone." I'm like, "No, no, no. You need to expand, reach beyond your comfort zone, because it's only when you expand and get comfortable with being uncomfortable and reaching beyond that level is where you grow. And you can't grow your
Yes.
business. You cannot grow your business beyond growing yourself."
Totally. Yeah, something you said, Michelle, so important. It's like that sitting in the discomfort causes you to grow, because what most people want to do is when they start to feel uncomfortable, they want to do something to make it go away, because we're animals and we live by the pleasure pain principle, right? So if you feel uncomfortable, you immediately want to just do something to fix the problem of feeling uncomfortable. But hasty decision doesn't lead to effective results,
Mhm.
right? And so sitting in the
Hasty
discomfort is
decisions do not
powerful.
lead to effective results. Let's put that in the notes too. Hasty decisions do not. That's why I say don't make decisions based off of emotions. Make sure
Yeah.
you take a step back, really think about it, maybe gain some insight who somebody who's traveled down your path before, and maybe hire a mentor like Dr. Amanda and really seek that. Don't seek opinions, seek expert advice.
Yes. Yes.
Make your decisions based off of logic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we got a couple questions here. So Jacob says, "What are some of the most effective techniques you found for nurturing inner power?"
Ooh, great question, Jacob. Thanks for interacting and engaging. Go to innerpower101.com. Awesome 2 hours of videos that will teach you 5 strategies to start to cultivate inner power. I can talk about it here. We are energetic beings, and our outcome is based on our state of being. And our state of being is made up of our feelings and our thoughts. So anything we believe and anything we feel is our state of being. That's what attracts your reality to you through magnetism. So, in order for you to get different results in your life, you've got to actually reprogram your state of being, which is sounds so simple, and yet it's a repeated pattern that you do daily over time. And so you've got to actually start to get conscious of your thoughts, decisions, feelings, and actions, right? And the interesting thing is action is evidence of belief. So if you are procrastinating, which is a huge issue for people, you already know that you have conflict in your belief system. So anytime someone tells me they're procrastinating, I go back to like, okay, how are you feeling and what are you believing? And because if you're not taking action, it means you don't believe in the result that you say you want, right? And so you're going to procrastinate.
Or they can become so overwhelmed that I always say when a person, I always say our brain's like our computer. When we have so many open cycles, when we have so many things open on our computer or in our brain, what happens with your computer? It begins to slow down.
Yeah,
It becomes
malfunction.
it's malfunctions. It's not
Yeah.
effective. It's not. efficient anymore, and then eventually shuts down. And the same thing happens with the brain.
Yeah.
Is you got to start closing the cycles, checking some of those boxes to really free up your brain power, right? Would you agree with
Yeah.
that?
Oh, absolutely. I love what you just said. So I always think of your brain as a problem solving operating system.
Yeah.
So when you plug in a clear question, it can lead to a clear result. When you plug in a whole bunch of confusion, it leads to scattered results. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's what most people are doing when they're sitting in a low level state of stress. That's the opposite of inner power. So, this question that Jacob asked, what are some of most effective techniques you found for nurturing inner power? It's alignment, right? So simply journaling, asking yourself different questions is really incredibly powerful. Short meditations. I teach people 2-minute meditation techniques to shift their energy because most people aren't going to commit to a 30 minutes meditation practice. And so when I work with high power people who are, building massive wealth, they're busy and they are resistant to changing their inner state of being, yet they keep getting results that cause them to be stressed. They might be high power earners, they might have huge companies, they might be growing rapidly, but if they're not a 10 out of 10 in their personal life and feeling of how they feel, their inner power is off, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so meditation, journaling, I do EFT tapping with people. That's really fun and easy. I do energy check-ins, I do scripting, like strategies that are very short, simple, and actionable. And so, I love the power of a daily morning routine. So one of my core foundational products or programs that I have people in is a daily morning routine program for entrepreneurs, because I know that most entrepreneurs, first thing they get up, they're like looking at their phone, they're getting distracted, they're thinking about their email, they're starting to already go, and they're setting up their system for stress and overwhelm, just like you were talking about. And then your whole day spirals into that. And so you can't get high ROI results because you're already starting out with stress.
What if you get up and get a cup of coffee? Is that starting your stress?
Hey, I go straight to the tea. I do matcha every morning. So like first I start with green tea and then I go to black tea. And it's like, rituals are really great. What I challenge and suggest to people is to start a ritual of having a power packed morning routine. And when I say power packed, it doesn't have to be long. It can be short. My program is 15 minutes. That's it.
So give us an example of that real quick.
So what I do in my program. It's a very short, inspirational, self-reflective lesson, I'd say. And so this is part of that recognize and reframe. And then because it's a daily program, it's repeat to reprogram. So what I'm doing through this program is helping people retrain their subconscious energy system, right?
Mhm.
So short daily lesson, journaling through a journaling prompt. So I give a journaling
Short
prompt.
daily lesson
Yep, sure. Journaling and then meditation.
and meditation. Let's put down in the comments.
Yep. So learn, journal,
What are you
meditate.
journaling about?
So that's where this is. I love that you're asking this because I've worked with so many people who, when I work with people one on one, they journal. They're almost always resistant to it at first because they're like, I know I should journal, but I don't know what to say. And I feel really frustrated when I'm just sitting and looking at the blank book. And so I teach them journaling prompts. And so the program gives them journaling prompts to follow so they're not just staring at a blank book. And I think most listeners will agree, if everyone was here in front of us and we asked them to raise their hand, do you know the top habits that successful people do? Everyone would agree. Daily morning routine is huge, right? For the highest successful people. Journaling, people will go like, yes, I know that successful people journal, but I'm not sure what to write. And then meditation is high up there as well. And so teaching people how to do those strategies in very simple ways that they can actually create it as a daily habit is can be tricky. That's why I created this program, because I heard so many people flailing in this area.
So to clarify, it was learn, journal, meditate.
Yep. Learn,
What
journal,
are we,
meditate.
what are we learning in your morning routine?
I always recommend something that's personal growth and development based. So for me, it's mindset, it's money mindset, it's business growth, it could be physical health, it could be relationships, whatever area where you're feeling the least skilled or the most inspired, learn there.
Okay. So it's five, five, and five. At the end, right at the end, we're gonna do a meditation. We're gonna do like a
Mhm.
2 minute meditation. meditation.
Perfect. I love leading meditations. Yeah. And so what you said 5 and 5. It's actually at least in the program, the way I have it, it's about 8 minutes of learning. It's a 2-minute journaling, meditation session. And then they journal what the prompts are for that day.
So what do what okay, so when you take somebody like me and a lot of busy entrepreneurs, I mean, first thing I do is get up, get coffee.
Yep.
Second thing I do is work out. Third
Yep.
thing I do is I watch something that's very inspiring to me on TV as I'm getting dressed, which I'm learning from. It's inspirational,
That sounds
and
awesome.
I
Yeah.
start my day with that every day. I'm
Yep.
not doing a journaling, I'm not doing a meditation, and then it's a huge fire drill at my house to get my dog ready, and my kid ready, and get our day started. So I miss the
Yep.
journaling, I miss the meditation, and that's why I want to talk about meditation at the end because when you I have tried. My husband was a huge meditator, and I've tried meditating so many times. And I went to the doctor so many times and said, "Look, I know I'm ADD, HDD. Just diagnose it." And they're like, "No, you're not. You just have a fast brain, and you can't slow it down." So meditation, I know, is huge, and I would like to learn how do you do that in 2 minutes. So we'll talk a little bit about
Yeah.
that as well.
I want to say something real quick because you just said of words that
Sure.
were very important. So you can't slow it down. I would reframe to I choose not to slow it down, right? Everything's a choice. So we could go, I choose to slow my brain down, right? And repeat
Mm,
that to ourselves. So in my book, Affirmantras, the reason I call them affirmantras is that affirmations generally do not work for people because when they repeat something to themselves that isn't true, they're causing resistance. And resistance is the number one reason we don't manifest instantaneously or don't create what we want. And so we want to be saying statements to ourselves that are 100% true. And when we say things that are affirming to our limitations, they become
mm,
true, right? So we always want to go, I choose blank, right? I choose this is a statement that can be 100% true. So if you say, I choose to be more focused and aligned energetically throughout the day versus I am energetically focused and aligned throughout the day. If you don't believe it, you're causing resistance. Versus if you say,
mm,
I choose to be focused and aligned throughout the day, that's a
mm.
different energetic frequency and you're sending yourself a different message. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, Joyce Myers, who I listen to every morning, she says, "I don't smoke anymore. I don't smoke anymore. Smoke tastes nasty. Smoke is nasty. It tastes horrible." And that's how she quit in 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
it's very similar.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
totally.
Stefan says, "How do you, Stefan, sorry, how do you incorporate mindfulness and self awareness into the inner power daily approach?" Well, you talked a little bit about that.
I love these questions. These are awesome. Thank you, Stefan. One thing I do whenever I'm changing a habit is I set alarms for myself because the point of the only way to be successful at changing a habit is to repeat it and to get yourself to
Rinse and repeat,
yeah,
right?
to do it in the first place. So for me, let's say I wanted to be more mindful in my day, I would set an alarm on my phone that says spend 2 minutes in mindfulness. And so for me, when I started the meditation habit, I have a meditation that's called the TLC meditation. We can do this one at the end. And it's a 2-minute meditation. And I would put every 90 minutes in my phone an alarm to go off that said, do the TLC meditation. And then it would remind me. And then once I made it an autopilot habit, I didn't need the alarm anymore. At first, when you're doing something new, you've got to remind yourself because it's very challenging to change our autopilot behaviors. That's why most people never change and never get different results, is because they don't know how to change their autopilot behaviors. So it's a great question, Stefan. And you've got to program yourself for success by figuring out ways to remind yourself. So an alarm on your phone is a great way to go if
So
you're
let's put
wanting
that
to
in the
be
comments
self-aware.
yeah, so let's put that in the comments. Set your alarm when you're trying to remind yourself about new habits, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's a great system. I've used it effectively. Another tool you can use is just a trigger approach. So it's like every time you go to the bathroom, you decide, okay, when I go to the bathroom, I'm going to take 3 deep breaths while I'm going to the bathroom. Like because you go to the bathroom frequently and repetitively, it's a good way if you attach it and stack it all of a sudden you'll go, oh, when I'm in the bathroom, I'm just going to spend my 1 minute of breathing. And then every time you go to the bathroom, you get 1 minute of breathing in. And that can change your energetic system and cultivate inner power.
My trigger for breathing is about to pass out. Everybody's saying, Michelle, you got to breathe. You got to breathe. I'm like,
Don't
okay.
do that.
All right, so set an alarm clock. What do you do for like patience? I mean, I'll tell you, I got great strengths and I've got weaknesses like all of us. And one of my biggest things is patience. And I'm sure my team is laughing at me right now. And that's okay. What do you do for patience if you're trying?
Ooh.
Yeah.
This is a good one. And maybe this mindset switch will help you, or this awareness. I work with people all the time when they're struggling with patience. And I don't think I know an entrepreneur who doesn't struggle with patience, because we all want quick success, right?
Especially
We
when you have
all want,
kids too.
yeah, yeah. We want
I got
immediate
kids,
results.
I got a dog I'm trying to potty train. I need
Yeah,
patience.
yeah.
Yeah.
So something to know about patience that's really important is that when you are impatient, you're causing the universal results to slow down. Okay. So
Mhm.
the way that works is that when you're impatient, what you're signaling to the universe or your outer world is that you have too much on your plate and you're overwhelmed. So you need things to happen faster, which is a scarcity consciousness and a low vibrational frequency. So then the universe slows down things on the outside so that you can feel, so that you start to shift, right? So if you decide you want things to come to you more quickly,
Mhm.
you've got to be more patient and more slow moving and do less, right? Most people think it's the opposite. They're like, I've got too much to do. And so I got to be faster about doing it. And I'm going to keep adding stuff to my plate so I can get to this level of success and then I can relax, right? That's how most people think. It's exactly the opposite. You've got to go, I choose to be relaxed in the moment, knowing that your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. And so when you are patient and relaxed and calm, the universe speeds up bringing you the results. So anytime you notice yourself being impatient, just remind yourself with a reframe and go, I choose to be calm and relaxed in this moment to attract faster opportunities, or, speedier your results, whatever it is that you're
What do you do for
attracting.
anger? Because I've got a couple of clients that, I got one that will throw stuff against across the room and try to hit their employees in the head and things like that. So, what do you do for anger control?
If I were working with someone one-on-one, I would want to get to the root of why they're angry. I don't think there's a one solution answer for everyone there. It's like you got to detect why you're angry. To me, anger is an out of alignment state. If you're aligned in your inner power, you're not going to have reactivity, and anger is reactivity. And so when you're in alignment with inner power, you are in a balanced, poised state of equilibrium, right? Which means that you respond instead of react. And a responsive person, I love the word responsibility because it just means the ability to respond. And when you're being responsive, it means you're slowing down to see all sides and you're not going to have a reactive outcome. And so if someone's acting angry, I already know something's going on inside that they have conflict about. They're not conscious of it usually, but that's where I would dig in and go like, let's figure out what's going on there with that misalignment and causing you to be reactive. And again, it's a training thing, right? You've got to start training your system to respond instead of to react.
Mm-hmm. To respond instead of to react. And
Yeah.
so, how do you get people? Because I have, I've had clients, friends, employees, and I try to move them upon their past, to get past their past, and help them, and do all these things to support them and help them, and they just, like you said earlier, it's just a choice, I guess, and they
Mm-hmm.
choose to stay, in the past versus create a new future, and they continue to give power to the past instead of power of changing their life. How do you really get people past that point, I guess?
It's interesting you say this because whatever it is that I am in the world, I don't attract victim-minded people to work with generally, and so I
Why
don't
am
enjoy.
I attracting victim-minded people?
Yeah, there you go. That's the question to ask. So, and this is great for anyone in their businesses. Your outer world. So my book is frames this, my whole company, everything I do is framed by this one statement that I tell everybody. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. If you don't like what's going on the outside, change what's within. Because We live in a vibrational energetic frequency where we are attracting through our state of being. So if whatever you're attracting in the outer world you don't like, look within. It's not the people, it's you, right? Sure, they're just in the outer world showing up in material form to show you yourself and your subconscious beliefs. And so if you're attracting victim-minded consciousness into
They're
your
my
reality,
clients.
say it again.
They're my clients.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you, like, anyone listening, like whoever you're attracting is just an outer reflection of you. And so if you don't like it, just go like, here's a question to ask yourself, Michelle, just go like, where in my life am I being victim minded? Where in my life or my business am I stuck in blaming other people? And once you deal with that, you'll start attracting different types of people. Right. And not to say these people are bad or wrong, they're actually gifts and blessings to you. And even what will happen is, let's say you keep working with the same
My problem is
people.
I try to help and fix everybody.
There you go. That's why you're attracting victim-minded people. I don't ever try to fix anybody. I don't have that power, right? It's not my job to fix people. It's my job to show you how to fix yourself,
Mhm.
right? So when you
I try
start to
to I try
change,
to lead them to getting the help they need in
yeah,
order to fix themselves better.
yeah. Can I point something out? You've said the word try several times. Anytime someone says try, I already know they're struggling with something, because you don't say the word try when you're not in a struggle. You would say, I help people transform. You wouldn't say, I'm trying to help people
Oh,
transform.
it's not my space like it is your space. My space is that to help people and to exit rich, which is what I do.
Yeah, exactly.
In a different space.
Totally. Well, and
That's
that's why, but that's what's so cool is that I can hear those things in you. And I'm sure you could come in and detect things in my business that would help me exit rich that I don't see. That's why people need coaches, right? Because you can't see your blind
all right, we'll do
spots.
a trade. I'll help you with your business. You help me with your
I don't want to exit my business at this point. So, but I will come to you when I'm ready to.
But everybody should plan and prepare for the exit
Yes,
because you never know the day that comes that something catastrophic could happen, and you always want to be prepared.
that is true. Yes, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
So, Tip says, do you have a specific frequency you recommend to meditate to? Example 432. What?
Yeah,
4232.
432 hertz versus 528. I will
First
say
of all, I can't
this.
see.
I've experimented with so many types of meditation, and I think it's super fun to play with different frequencies, but I don't teach it based on that, because for me, it's more important about the habit of meditating on a regular basis and resonating with the way that you do it. So for some people, they do awesome at 1 hour meditations. For some people, they do my 2 minute meditation multiple times throughout the day. For some people, it might be a walking meditation. Like you've got to learn what works best for you. And so, I think it's fun to experiment with different hertz of different frequencies when you're listening, and they can be really rejuvenative, restorative, healing. I think it's awesome. I don't have one that I recommend specifically, because I typically tend to teach people how to, when you're coming from a place of inner power, you want to learn what works best for you. And so that's going to be different for different people based on what they resonate with in the most, let's see, I'd say congruent way.
And I agree with that 1,000% because Joyce Meyer says the same thing. She's like, I try to be like Sister Christian and pray for 5 hours a day. And I did 10 minutes and fell asleep. She said, I woke up, tried to do another 10 minutes, fell asleep. You got to find what works for you. But I think it is imperative to work with an expert who can guide you and teach you because I've tried numerous times and tried. So
Yeah.
here we go.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
will I do next time I have you on my podcast?
Yes.
So a lot of people, so many people struggle with tapping into their inner power. Many people struggle with that. What are some common challenges your clients or followers face, and how do you help them overcome these obstacles?
I would say entrepreneurs struggle the most with, I mean, let's say at different stages of business, but then it was really amazing for me when I was on food stamps and I started working with clients. I had this funny kind of unicorn belief that all rich people were just happy and awesome. Like they had no problems. Everything was great. That was my infatuated idea of rich people. And when I started hanging out with
Because
rich
non-rich people
people,
say, "Oh, that's a rich person people's problem. That's a rich person's problem. That's a rich person's
yeah,
problem."
yeah, it was like, it was so interesting to me. I was
Sometimes
like,
their problems are much
oh,
bigger, actually.
yeah, like we're all just people, right? We all struggle with the exact same things at and it shows up in different versions, right? With different outcomes, but the struggles are the same. So I'd say people struggle a lot with negative self-comparison. They
Mhm,
struggle a lot with imposter syndrome. They struggle a lot with procrastination. They struggle a lot with low energy and stress, like chronic stress that they're so used to, they don't even know that they're stressed.
mhm,
Like they just don't feel that good.
mhm,
And, I teach people zone of genius coaching. Like I coach from a place of, hey, get into your, I call it your zone of manifestation so that you can have a life and business you love, that you wake up every day and feel like, yes, I would not choose to do anything else with my time, right?
mhm,
Like time is our most precious commodity. And so how you spend your time matters a lot. Most people think, so this will tie back to that question. People think that once I have something, I'll feel better. That's an impossibility because you are creating from your inner power, which is your energetic state, which means if you want to live a life of wealth, and when I'm saying wealth here, I'm talking holistic wealth, like happiness in all areas, success in all areas. The word wealth actually means is a combination of two words, health and well-being. It doesn't
mhm,
even have anything to do with money originally, right? And so if you have true wealth, you'll have success in the financial area, mental health, relationships, physical health, spiritual well-being, all the things, right? And so in order to have that, you've got to be it and attract it to you. It's not the other way around. So you're most entrepreneurs, I'm like, wow, it's amazing how we get everything backwards and we think I've got to work really hard to get the thing and then I'll be happy, right?
mhm.
It doesn't work that way. It's I will work on being aligned with my inner power and then I'll take strategic inspired action and then the outcome will automatically come to me. And I'll just keep reinforcing that and expanding and growing as I learn.
I also think that, I always say that happiness is the journey. It's not the destination.
Exactly.
You
Yep.
you get so excited, you get so happy to plan this huge vacation. You plan it, you're doing this and this and this and this, and you're so looking forward to it. And yeah, yes, you have a great time, but happiness is in the journey. Just like setting up your own company. That's what I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Steph asks, can you share any success stories from your community that demonstrates the transformation effect of tapping into your inner power?
Oh, these are great questions. I love these. Absolutely. I mean, really fun stuff. I've had people double their income in a week. I've had people I've had people have the wildest things that they don't expect. It's like I'll work with someone, they come to me to work with me on business, they lose 10 pounds, find the love of their life, and then drop an entire business they were doing to do something that's more aligned. I've had people be better parents, have better relationships. People, I mean, ultimately, when you're tapping into your inner power, every single area of your life and business gets affected because you're the center of your universe, right?
Mhm.
So all of a sudden, you're going to notice more confidence. You're going to notice more connection. You're going to notice more joy in what you're doing, less stress. Your physical body starts to feel better. You attract different opportunities. So it's like when I work with people, like, it's like, yeah, doubling income, changing business structures,
Mhm.
getting way more aligned with things they enjoy doing. So a lot of dropping, automating, and delegating happens so that then they spend less time making more money. I get a lot of people will tell me that they feel higher consciousness. And I think because I work with them, they use that word because we've talked about consciousness a lot, but it's like they feel more in tune with who they are and knowing that what they're doing matters. And then that leads to growing their business because they step into this, again, what I call zone of manifestation, where you're feeling connected, you're feeling inspired, and you're leading your life from a place of joy, which automatically causes you to magnetize money your way and opportunities your way and more joy your way. So
Give
I
us,
could give a
Ananda,
ton of,
give us three of your biggest steps, techniques, whatever you want to call it, to becoming a money magnet.
ooh. Well, I will say this, the 3 steps: recognize, reframe, repeat to reprogram. That's all you need to do.
Recognize.
Recognize, reframe, repeat to
Okay, you
reprogram.
said that
So when
earlier,
you're
so okay.
so when you're looking at money beliefs, you've got to tap into how you were programmed
Mhm.
subconsciously from the ages of 0 to 7
Like when
first.
my
So
father
in the
used to say,
book,
"Money doesn't grow on trees. You got a champagne appetite on a beer pocketbook."
yeah, there you go. So then you would dig in and go, what did that cause me to? How is that playing out in my life as an adult? If you were stuck in that mindset belief, so an example, I always teach 3 money blocks or 3 money beliefs. So money is bad, money is scarce, money causes stress. So money is bad would be something along the lines of like, oh, rich people are greedy jerks.
Mm,
Uh, money is the root of all evil.
mhm.
I shouldn't get paid this much for doing something spiritual. Those types of things. This happens a lot with people who are capped themselves at certain levels because they go, oh no, if I make too much money, I'll become a greedy jerk.
Yeah, I call that the financial thermostat that's laid out in T. Harv Eker's book, The
Yeah.
Mindset. And yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest things I look at when I'm interviewing. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
positive
Exactly. So,
thinking. Yep.
yeah. So, when you're wanting to raise your thermostat, the only way to do it is to first recognize what you believe. You got to take the read of the room, right? He calls it your money set point and talks about it as a thermostat, right? So it's like to raise your thermostat, you have to go look at the thermostat setting. So that's the same thing as you starting to look at what do I believe and feel about money. So a really fun question I start people with is if you could write down your family's money motto, what would it be?
Mhm.
And this is very easy for people to come up with. They're like you, so a lot of people, it was like, money doesn't grow on trees. You got to work hard to make money. Money is the root of all evil. Money is stressful. There's never enough, those kind of things. And so you want to start picking at that and going like, whoa, I was programmed to believe that money is stressful, which means that when I start making more money, I'm going to automatically sabotage to get down to a lower level because I have a subconscious belief that if I make more money, it's going to cause more responsibility and more stress. And if you don't decide to disentangle that and reframe it, you're going to keep getting the same outcomes.
Mm, very important.
So it's it's
So what
it's
about
really
when
fun to
you
dig
mentioned money
in.
doesn't go on trees? That causes scarcity, right?
Oh, well, it depends. You would want to question yourself and go like, what did it cause me to believe to be true if my parents told me money doesn't grow on trees,
It
right?
caused me to disagree with them and say, yes, it does. There's money all around me. I just got to look at the opportunity
Yeah.
and seize it.
Yeah. Which is interesting you say that. So you can either get stuck in your parents' money beliefs or you can rebel against them. And so sometimes the rebel against them will equal you have a lot of money. It doesn't always equal happy, great relationship with money. Sometimes it does for people. But generally speaking, if you have money beliefs that are imbalanced, you're going to lead to volatility in your money making, or you're not going to feel good about money in general, right? So it's like, I mean, it's wild to work with people across all different income levels because you all see, again, like I thought, oh, rich people have no issues. Like, oh, that's not true. And then you realize, like, it's not the amount of money that fixes the problem,
That's
it's how you feel about money, right?
right. Right.
And so it's that
And
internal.
then
So
there's
you could be making billions and feel super stressed and scared you're going to lose it.
and feel lonely. And the other
Yeah.
thing too is you can make a lot of money and just never keep it because it always brings you back down to that financial thermostat. And I see a
Yes.
lot of people do that where they make a ton of money, but then they lose it all back to what their comfort zone is. All
Exactly.
right.
Yep.
So real quick, we're going to spend 2 minute meditation, and then we're going to talk about how
Mhm.
everyone can get in contact with you. Before we
Okay.
do that, do you have any last minute tips, golden nuggets, brilliant ideas, which I know you do, that you can leave our listeners?
Hmm. I would say, based on the conversation we've had today, start with the next best first step. That's it, right? So if you in the recognize, reframe, repeat to reprogram, just go, what am I feeling bad about? Where am I struggling? Identify it, and then go, okay, what's one thing I can do differently today than I did yesterday? And then do that every single day. Radical results come from tiny daily steps,
Mm,
right? That's habits transformation.
mhm.
And so just take small daily steps. You don't need to think huge. Most entrepreneurs think way too big, and it's like vision-based thinking big is awesome, but habits-based thinking, think small.
Mhm. Like the 7 habits to effective living, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
forgot the name of it.
Yeah. Highly effective people.
Silent
Yep.
people. All right, so let's start meditation. Let's all get ready. What do we do first? We got 2 minutes.
All right. I'll teach TLC. It'll take us a couple minutes. It'll take us a little bit longer than 2 because I'm guiding it. When you do it by yourself, set this up for 2 minutes. It's awesome. So just close your eyes. And I always start with 3 deep breaths. So the T, the L, and the C. The T is 3 breaths. The L is listen, let go, and land. And the C is conscious intention. Okay. So we're going to close our eyes and we're going to just walk through those 3
Yeah, and if
steps.
we put
So
those 3 steps in our notes, that would be great. Can you repeat them one more time?
Yep. So TL, I call it the TLC meditation also because it's tender loving care, but T is 3 breaths. So T, 3 breaths. L, listen, let go, and land. And C, conscious intention.
Okay, that's
Okay. So just everyone go ahead and close your eyes. If you're driving, don't do that, but close your eyes. and and let's take 3 deep breaths. So breathe in, and on the in breath, imagine golden light filling every cell of your being, causing your cells to kind of vibrate and jump around and feel good. On the out, let go, let go, let go, let go. You're letting go of any resistance that's there that's conscious or unconscious. And now another one in. On the in breath, breathe in deeply, slowly, and imagine golden light filling every cell of your being, giving you energy, clarity, and power. And on the out, let go of anything that's stopping you from having the most powerful day you can have. And again, on the in, breathe in golden light, love for yourself, love for the people in your life, love for being an entrepreneur, love for getting to be here right now with us. And then on the out, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. Now for the L part, you have let go. And now let's just listen. And this listening is listening to your body, listening to where you're at so that you can land in the present moment. So in this space, I keep my eyes closed. I just keep breathing naturally. And I like to listen to my body first. So I do a body scan and I check in with my head and I go, oh, okay, is there any tightness in my forehead or my cheeks? If there is, release, relax, and let go. Notice if your tongue is tight in your mouth or if it's relaxed on the bottom of your mouth. Let it relax. Listen, let go, release. Now your neck, your shoulders, your back. Just noticing if there's any tension or tightness there. Breathe into it, listen, relax, release. Now your arms, your belly, your lower back. Release, relax, let go. Your legs, your glutes, your knees, your shins, your toes. Just breathe as you release, relax, and let go in those spaces, those parts of your body. And then to bring energy back in through your toes, imagine that there's energy coming straight from the earth into your toes up to the top of your body, to all the way to your brain. So you're taking a deep breath in and bringing energy up to the top of your head. And I like to imagine as I'm filling my body with that breath, golden light just filling every part of my body, giving me confidence and power and purpose. And then as we close, we'll take a deep breath in. And on the deep breath, I want you to set a conscious intention for the rest of your day. This is a conscious intention of how you're going to spend the rest of your day so that you can be aligned with power and taking strategic action. So go ahead and breathe in as deeply as you can, breathing in, and just ask yourself, what's my conscious intention for the day? Let your brain come up with it, let it pop into your consciousness or come up with it consciously. And then on the out, when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And now just notice how different you feel. Like it's really important when you're done meditating, just go like, whoa, taking 3 deep breaths and focusing on how I feel just for a couple of minutes can change everything. And then what I would do here is write down your conscious intention. And if one didn't pop in while you're meditating, make one up right now. Just go, okay, my conscious intention for the next hour is to call 3 people to make new contacts for my business. My conscious intention is to be clear and focused and present so that I can feel good for the rest of the day. My conscious intention is to drop the stress, connect with my body, and take strategic action, whatever pops in for you. Any questions?
Awesome. I would tell you everything in my body was tense, including my tongue.
Yeah, isn't that interesting, that one? Yeah.
And so, what if somebody has like five conscious intentions? Because I,
That's fine, except for scattered energy leads to scattered results, and you need to narrow your focus to expand your freedom. So if you're a person who tends to kind of go too big, I would narrow it to like 1 to 3
okay.
for the for that next period of time, and or do the meditation more regularly. So for example, I used to do it every 90 minutes, and I would just set my conscious intention for the next 90-minute block, and then on the next one I'd set the next conscious intention for the 90-minute
I
block.
think it was great. Does anybody have any comments here about it? Okay. Well, hopefully everybody did it, except for if they're driving. So I think it was fantastic. It was any last minute thoughts? Oh, let's tell our listeners about your book. How can they find it? And how can they get in contact with you? I think you've been a wealth of information, so many great insights that I think a lot of us know, but I always say common sense is not so common anymore, and we don't practice it, as enough as we should. We need to live more in the conscious and less in the subconscious.
It's so
Thank you.
true.
Mind
Yeah.
present.
Yes, yes. So book, if they go to iamamoneymagnetbook.com, free chapters there. You can also order it there. So iamamoneymagnetbook.com. That's a great way to get started on reprogramming your money beliefs. 100 journaling questions in there. Really awesome book with the inner power formula that will teach you how to reprogram from the inside out. The innerpower101.com course, free course, awesome tips. So innerpower101.com. And then if they are interested in the morning routine program, I have a 7-day free trial. So they would just go to innerpowerdaily.com/membership. If you're driving and that was too much to write down, just go to my main website and you'll find everything there.
It will also
And
all be
my,
in the show notes too. Everything that you just
yeah,
said,
yeah.
that Dr. Amanda said, will be in the show notes.
Yeah, and everything I do is under innerpowerdaily.com. So if you remember just that, innerpowerdaily.com, you'll find everything there, my podcast and freebies and working with me and all the things. So innerpowerdaily.com.
Well, great job, Doc.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything that you shared with us today. Thank you for the meditation. I do feel a little bit more relaxed, so that's a good thing because I'm always wound up tighter than a yo-yo. So I want to
Yes.
I want to thank all of our Exit Rich guests for tuning in to another week of powerful, powerful guests that we bring on this show to help inspire, help you grow, help you to have the best quality of life you can possibly create for you and your family and get back to your community. So please, I know you love this episode. I know it's like drinking through a water hose. Listen to it over and over again. Share it with your network, share it with your friends, share it with anybody you know. Anybody you feel is stuck in business, stuck in their life, share it. And the more you share it, the more that we can help others. So thank you. And I will see you next week on another episode of Exit Rich.